Ladies and gentlemen, this is Paradigm Changing News. Thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. Ladies and gentlemen, let's first establish a couple of things. It's important to always look at public record sources. You always have to look and analyze and discuss information from public record, reputable sources, which is what I do, what we do on this channel. That's why my channel is in good standing. That's why most of the things that I say come true. Clinton lost. I said she would lose. The Mueller report led to nothing. I stated that right when the Steele dossier came out. And there are other things that I have the pulse of what's going on. Clinton is going to run again. That's another story. She'll be the 2020 nominee. It won't be Marianne Williamson and her ghosts and goblins. But it is okay, and it's actually, you can consider it kind of a good thing, that they're not prosecuting James Comey just on leaking classified information. Because then he could say, look, you know what? I don't know what he'll say. The FBI allowed me to do it. Everyone there, we were worried about election interference, and at that point, we had no idea. The Russians were interfering in the election, and we had no clue. And then the intelligence community will then back him up. Even President Trump's intelligence community. Really, you're going to tie it into Russia? Okay. There is a statute that involves all of James Comey's numerous violations of legal statutes. He committed perjury, stated numerous times, stated under oath that he didn't write the letter exonerating Clinton or trying to exonerate Clinton. He stated, well, I waited until the interview of Clinton and 16 other interviews. So he said that he didn't write the letter until he had spoken to the Golden Moo. But he did. He wrote the letter prior to Madam Cyberhack being interviewed by Peter Strzok. We know so that he lied under oath. He said it was a unanimous decision. Now we know from testimony that Lisa Page and James Baker wanted to indict Clinton. So when people say, Jacob said that Clinton would be indicted, well, the FBI wanted to indict Clinton as well. So, and a bomb 31458. Thank you. Thank you. Hope all is well. Good to see you. Thank you. There's a statute that I write about, and we can go in leaking classified information, saying things that are not accurate under oath. I explain in my article, Comey and McCabe should be charged for conspiring to defraud Americans. The 18 U.S. Code, the statute 371. Okay, here's the article, ladies and gentlemen. I will put it right here. Eric H526. Keep up the awesome work, and this is to keep rocking HA. I'll have more videos very soon. Everyone subscribe to Eric H526's channel. Ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to his channel right now. He's awesome. And I'll give you his channel right this second. Here it is. Subscribe to his channel. But the article is in the Federalist, and it talks about Comey's use of the Steele dossier. It talks about all of the bizarre, overt activity. Somebody is not telling the truth under oath, either Loretta Lynch or James Comey. That's one issue that he could be indicted under. He called it a matter. They could get him on obstruction of justice, according to the logic utilized against Trump. He says that Loretta Lynch told him Loretta Lynch says, I never said call it a matter. So which one is it? And then you say, Graham, it would be stunning if DOJ declined to prosecute Comey. But then Lindsey Graham says basically, hey, you know what? If the IG report says that he's going to be skewered, okay, John Solomon, James Comey expected to be skewered by DOJ probe into leaked memos, but will escape prosecution. That's okay. That doesn't mean he's going to escape prosecution for everything he's done. And they don't want to just look, the United States government doesn't care. If you're James Comey and you leak memos on Trump, the whole thing was a setup. It was classified memos. They can get him on that later. They don't need to get him on that now. They can get him on that when they get him on utilizing a dossier he knew to be false. They can get him on utilizing a dossier that he knew was outsourced by Clinton, because he knew that. They would never utilize a dossier outsourced by Trump against Clinton. That would never happen in a million years. But the Loretta Lynch versus James Comey, then there's Andrew McCabe versus James Comey. Andrew McCabe will eventually almost certainly get indicted first. Andrew McCabe lied 3 times under oath, and he said James Comey allowed him to do so. James Comey said, I don't know what you're talking about. So it's James Comey versus Andrew McCabe. It's James Comey versus Loretta Lynch. It could be James Comey versus Christopher Steele. Comey thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, but when you have that much hubris, it doesn't work out in the long run legally. So this is actually a very good thing, just in terms, look, the public record does not look good for Comey. Imagine what Trump has, what William Barr has, what John Durham has. Then you have text messages from Peter Strzok to Lisa Page saying, we'll stop Trump. Then you have James Baker under criminal investigation. You have testimony from Andrew McCabe, James Baker, Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, Loretta Lynch. Then you have the information that they don't have, that the United States government has right now regarding communication that James Comey had with each of them. Someone is lying. Someone's not telling the truth under oath. Very likely James Comey is not, on numerous things, so they can get him on perjury. You're talking about somebody who's crooked beyond belief, but you can't you can't focus on, well, you know what, they should have prosecuted him, because then he could just simply fall back and say, well, gosh, I was so worried about Russia. And then and then even President Trump's intelligence community or whatever, even John Ratcliffe will have to say, well, Russia is an important consideration. He probably wouldn't say it like that, but they're very likely, almost certainly, going to get Comey on a whole bunch of legal violations that fall under a statute for people who conspire to defraud the U.S. That was the collusion statute that they try to utilize against Trump. So Rumiko, thank you so very much, Rumiko. Thank you for your generosity always. It's greatly appreciated, and it's just very kind of you. Thank you, Rumiko. Thank you. Hey, H.A., you are my new late night show. I love the live broadcast. So Comey going to skate? He won't eventually, because there's too many crimes committed. Basically, you're talking about a guy, let's say there's a guy who drives the getaway car, but he also planned the entire heist. He also purchased the equipment to complete the heist or the robbery. He also committed other violations of the law. Initially, you're not going to just charge him for being the guy who drives the getaway car. So there's a whole lot of it doesn't ever work out for people on the left. When Clinton didn't get indicted. She eventually lost the election. So they were like dancing in the streets. She didn't get indicted. Yay! And it's like with Trump, I knew he wouldn't get indicted. And I said that he wouldn't. And I said that the whole thing was nonsense and fabricated. With Clinton, she committed crimes. I said she would get indicted. And James Baker and Lisa Page agreed with me. The FBI agreed with me. James Comey obviously covered everything up. And I wrote about that in the Daily Caller. But Rumiko, thank you. I think that it's very good that you have people who he leaked classified memos and he's getting away with it. The double standard is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. But that's kind of Lindsey Graham was just on Hannity explaining you don't want to get him on just one thing. He did a whole bunch of things. He broke numerous laws. So, I mean, the guy he was head of the FBI for two of the most embarrassing charades, for the biggest mockery of the FBI and intelligence community in American history. He covered up the most overt, blatant crimes from Clinton, who transferred top secret and special access program intelligence outside of the United States government. And the FBI and Justice Department had agreements where they promised not to look at Clinton Foundation emails, and they promised not to look at laptops until her attorneys did whatever they wanted to and then disposed of the laptops. It goes beyond obstruction of justice because the government was a part of obstructing justice. So is it against, Nixon said one time, it's not against the law if the president does it. Okay, is it against the law if you have corrupt police officers planting or hiding evidence or exculpatory evidence? Yeah, of course it is. Well, how are you going to find out? They are the law. Comey was the law. Comey was the law. Okay, we know, we see what's taking place. We know there's a double standard. But Trump, I just don't think that Trump is the type of guy who will just let things pass. He's not the type of guy that just, retribution is important to Trump. And it's not, it's not retribution based on just revenge. It's retribution based on they tried to set him up illegally. Adam Bomb 31458, thank you. Thank you, Adam Bomb 31458. Rumiko, thank you, Rumiko, as always. Thank you so very much. But I mean, I gotta say, I actually look at this as a very good thing. I mean, I just don't think that this is, I mean, think about it. He did so many more things, from utilizing a Steele dossier to being he presided over. First of all, how many emails do you think he has between McCabe and himself, or Strzok? How much communication do you think the United States government has on James Comey? How about everything he's ever written at the FBI? You think Comey, who's no longer at the FBI, has access to this information? And Christopher Wray can, do whatever he, try as hard as he wants. Steve of 9, thank you. Christopher Wray. No, we will not see a perp walk, no, for any of these people. But we will see indictments. I just, I think it's great that his credibility is not only being tarnished every single day, but who the guy is being exposed. He presided over two of the most embarrassing moments in FBI and American history. The cover-up of Clinton's numerous crimes. You cannot use servers outside of the United States government. And when they say, oh, what about Ivanka's emails? No, wake me up when you when you hear that Ivanka or Trump or Jared Kushner had servers, say it slowly, Democrats, servers. Pilgrim driver, what will happen to the DNC? Hillary's going to run and save the day. I am telling you. And be here on this live stream when it takes place, because I am telling everyone Hillary Clinton is going to run. And I said this in 2017, and the articles are below. Will be below. And by the way, HA2A, I have a segment on Marianne Williamson and Trump and how Trump is defeating Marianne Williamson, even in the realm of ethereal spirits. HA2A. Just type in HA2A. That's my other channel. HA2A. Capital H, capital A, 2, and then A. We're on our way to 6,000 subs on that one. But I can be more myself on that one, and I don't really care about what I say, and it's interesting. My latest segment is that President Trump is not racist, and I explain that. And then I go on and on forever. It's like 40 minutes. Washington Examiner. Although prosecutors found the watchdog's findings compelling, they decided against prosecuting Comey under classified information protection laws because there being too much uncertainty surrounding his intent. The intent obviously was to start a special counsel. But see, what he's hiding. He's hiding. Thank you, Eric H526. What he's doing is he's hiding behind the Russia hysteria, because unfortunately, Trump's intelligence community still promotes that nonsense. James Comey's next reckoning is imminent, this time for leaking. John Solomon, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. The Justice Department's chief watchdog is preparing a report on James Comey's conduct in the final days as FBI director that likely will conclude he leaked classified information and showed a lack of candor on his own agency after his own agency began looking into a feud. So he lied under oath. There you go. This is almost certainly, I can't say 100%, but I'm saying the way I'm analyzing and viewing this is the following. The guy eventually is going to get indicted. He's eventually going to get indicted, very likely after Clinton loses in 2020. She's running again. Who did this help? Marianne Williamson's goblins and ghosts and elves? Creatures like Jeff Sessions? No. Who did all of this help? Beto O'Rourke so he can consume dirt? Amy Klobuchar so she can eat salad with a comb? They have nobody. They have nothing. They have nothing. This was all done for one political machine. Today's 2000, the Tammany Hall of the 2000s. Bubba Bill. And Madam Cyberhack. But I'll continue. Inspector General Michael Horitz's team referred Comey for possible prosecution under the classified information protection laws, but Department of Justice prosecutors working for Attorney General William Barr reportedly have decided to decline prosecution, a decision that's likely to upset Comey's conservative critics. What can you do? What can you do? All of this took place under Sessions. You had Rod Rosenstein, you had a special counsel, you had Comey doing whatever he wanted to do. You had Andrew McCabe, running rampant, Peter Strzok running rampant. You had Rod Rosenstein, the number 2 at Justice Department, trying to use a wire. Rome wasn't built in a day. And just to let you know, the whole LMNOP thing, that's being used by Democrats to disparage all Trump supporters. Just letting you know. It's, but I gotta say, you have Christopher Wray there. at FBI director, which is true. Kurt Leonard, DOJ passed prosecuting Comey because Barr doesn't want to lead with jaywalking. Exactly. Kurt Leonard, exactly. C and G, thank you. Kurt Leonard, I agree with you. And also, this is the thing, you have Christopher Wray at the FBI. Look, Dan Coates is out. You have John Ratcliffe. Mike Pompeo at State Department. The NSA, I think, has always kind of not wanted to be part of all of this. And you have General Nakasone, who is the NSA director hired by President Trump. But you have James Comey, who is, I mean, you have Christopher Wray, who's still who's still you have Christopher Wray who's still covering up, almost certainly. So, I do not see this as bad at all. If anything, I see it as a precursor and a foundation to further prosecutions, especially in the article that I wrote in the Federalist. The interesting thing about this is that we've come this far. So at least they wanted to prosecute him. I mean, you gotta take your victories where you can get them. At least the double standard is so obvious. It's so transparent. And you have people like, nothing was done illegally. There was nothing illegal. Everything was done illegally. Everything was done illegally. Nothing was legal here. He leaked classified memos. I kept saying it was illegal. Now prosecutors, the only thing that saved Comey was intent, which, by the way, is nonsense. Of course, the intent was there, but he lied under oath. He conspired along with other FBI agents to frame and set up Trump, utilizing a dossier that was purchased by Clinton. That's against the law. They say, well, it was raw intelligence. Show me a precedent. There was zero precedent, no precedent at all. Never happened before. You know, Annabomb 31458, Rumiko, thank you. I mean, think of it this way. You charge Comey for leaking classified information. He said, well, you know what? The Russians, DNC, Russia, and then they let him off. So then what do you have? I mean, what do you have? I mean, you have Christopher Wray at the FBI. So Christopher Wray at the FBI said, yeah, you know what? He was just he had to keep those memos because they were extremely important, and this was a very hectic time at the FBI, and we didn't know if Putin was going to hack the DNC further to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. So then what do you have? He did more. I explained in my article. He did a lot more. He did a lot more than that. So This is interesting. Okay, so Sandiford, thank you. FBI agent went to Comey's house, retrieved secret memo written after his termination. The whole thing with the memo is absurd. We have no clue. We have no clue what is even true. We have no clue what's even true in the memos. So, the whole thing with Comey's memos is that they were written by somebody who had contempt for Trump, trying to set up Trump. It would basically be like a defendant writing memos exonerating himself, or a plaintiff writing memos prosecuting a defendant. And the jury looking at memos and saying, oh, okay, well, this must be true. We have to start a special counsel, or we have to start this or that. I just think it's actually a very good thing. Let's see here. Comey interviewed Janice Ulrich. Barr threw it all to Durham. Secret grand jury indictments. Look, there's a chance, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what you're not going to get from and Janice, thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Janice Ulrich. Thank you. Here's something. Look, is there a chance that Durham and William Barr don't do anything? Yeah, there's a chance. Of course there is. Mitch Moe, H.A. Gunman. Love you, bro. Thank you, Mitch Moe. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Mitch Moe. Thank you. Thank you, Mitch. Quinn Smith. I'm a super patriot. Thank you, Quinn. Thank you. Is there a chance, ladies and gentlemen, that Barr and Comey don't do anything? I mean, Barr and Durham don't do anything. Sure, there is. But just today, President Trump stated this can never happen again. This can't happen again. So I just don't think that Trump's going to win the election. Clinton is going to run again. They have nobody, and it's a money-making racket for Democrats. They don't care. They she doesn't care. Clinton doesn't care what anyone thinks. Clinton doesn't care what you think, or whether or not you think that it's just, my God, like how could she do this? Run again? Oh my goodness. She doesn't care. You're not going to relinquish. This is a political machine. The machine is run by two people. She's going to run again. And I said that in 2017, and she will. And we'll have a repeat of 2016. And when Clinton loses again, then you'll see indictments of people, because they won't have the political backing. Right now, there's still, it took this long to get Dan Coates out of the way. Mitch Moe, thank you. Blair Roberts, Blair Roberts, thank you. Hey, H, you found your channel right before the 2016 election. It's been fun watching your journey to Trump support. This presidency has been an insane ride. Keep up the great contact. Blair, thank you so very much, Blair. Thank you. Thank you, Blair. Greatly appreciate it. Now you've been here a long time, and I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Doug F610. Go. Doug, thank you so very much. I love the graphics. And thank you, Doug F610. Thank you so very, very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Rumiko, Mitchmo, Blair, and Doug, thank you. I just, the left they're imploding, which is exactly what the Golden Moo Madam Cyberhack wants. They have nothing. They are, they're just completely inept at being corrupt. All of this is being uncovered. It's actually a pretty good thing because his reputation now is in tatters. I mean, it was before, but Comey, he already broke laws. Okay, now if they find that he broke other laws, which they will, it's even worse. So they can always add that criminal activity to all the other things that he did. Using a Steele dossier that Clinton, you can't do that. You can't use as evidence a dossier that was purchased by the political rival of someone you're investigating. It makes no sense. It's never happened before. When they say, well, it's raw intelligence, give us an example. Where's the precedent? They always, and this is what they do. They say, well, everything's protocol, but then when it's not protocol, they say, well, they say, hello, Omar Pena, hello. They say, oh, well, trust us. Atom Bomb 31458, thank you. Thank you, Atom Bomb 31458, thank you. Thank you again. FBI agents went to Comey's house. These are people. Okay, also, who are you going to get to testify against Comey? His friends? His friends who went to his house? Peter Strzok might have gone to his house. Lisa Page might have gone to his house. Who are you going to get? James Baker might have gone to his house. And these people might all flip and sing on Comey eventually, but it's like, what are you going to do? Sorry, I'm trying to find something here. Okay. An FBI evidence log, Judicial Watch. Look, the good thing about this is that all the framework for the U.S. Code 371, the statute involving people who conspire, the good thing is that the framework here is set. The framework is in motion. By the way, definitely check out HA2A. I'm going to do a segment right after this one. Or you know what? You know what I'll do? I'll wait until tomorrow for my ethereal fantasy world battle between President Trump and Marianne Williamson. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not look, the good thing is that you're actually there's a difference between reading message boards and every 2 seconds getting promised something and looking at the public record and saying, okay, um, you're one step closer to a realistic objective. They weren't going to get. There's no point. I'm actually happy that they didn't get him on leaking because they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have been able to prosecute him. The FBI agents would have stood up for him. The people who went to his house. So they don't run. They're not running an actual. With Comey, it wasn't a law enforcement agency. It was an extension of the DNC. So, additionally, Comey's memos include documentation of non-public interactions between specific foreign government officials and U.S. government officials. Disclosing those details, the DOJ insisted, could reasonably be expected to affect the United States' relationship with those countries. Oh, my God. So he's getting away with a lot. Again, it doesn't mean he's going to get away with everything because there's more that he did. So, a lot more that he did. So, ladies and gentlemen, Doug F610, thank you. Mitch Moe, thank you. You got to ask yourself, who does this benefit? Who was Comey essentially working for? It wasn't the United States of America. Who did he help? Amy Klobuchar? Beto O'Rourke? Bernie Sanders, who was cheated? No. Who did he help? Who did he help? Can I get a name of who Comey helped? Just give me a name below. Just give me a name below. Who did Comey help? Exactly. I am Siler. Hello. Exactly. Was it Amy Klobuchar? No. Was it Beto O'Rourke? No. Sandiford. I hope you're right about Clinton running again. Thank you. I will be. There's no way, ladies and gentlemen, there's no way that Clinton is not running again. She's going to run again because the Democrats have nobody who could raise any money. Like I said, Marianne Williamson's ethereal spirits aren't going to knock on doors, and again, a goblin from Williamson's campaign came and asked for donations. Can you believe this? These ethereal spirits will never stop. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost 40 minutes. Eric, H526. They're now so they've lost it to where they're like, this is a spiritual battle. They're losing on that one too. Okay, they can't win in this world. They can't win in the spirit world. They can't win in any world. If they think string theory, they can't win in alternate universes. They can't win. The only reason they won the House is because Mueller was completely unethical and continued his probe even though he knew there was nothing. And the media was nonstop. I mean, the economy was breaking records. The media was rabid against Trump, and the hysteria was still ongoing. Then we find out, the air just flew out of the absurd, ridiculous, um, theory that said Trump worked with Russia to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Politico, Philly Brains. Why do you think Clinton's top advisor, I pledged Trump and Hillary Clinton in 2016, here's what it takes to beat him. You didn't beat him when you played Trump. So why would it's like, he's like, I lost in the first round of the playoffs. Here's what it takes to win the World Series. Like, what? Here's what it takes to win the NBA finals. What? Here's what it takes to win the Super Bowl. I lost in the first round of the playoffs. I lost in the wild card game. Let me give you an example of how to be a world champion. But he goes on to say that none of these people can defeat Trump. And then he's like, you need somebody who's just as nasty as Trump. Gee, who do you think that is? Da, na, 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 na. Oh, yeah, the Golden Moo. So, why aren't my ethereal spirits defeating Trump's? He talks about, he's like, Democrats need to be able to communicate and attack in the same kind of blunt language that has until now been inappropriate in national politics. You mean like calling people deplorable? Calling fellow Americans deplorable? Or calling people super predators? Oh, but it's Clinton who did that, so everything's fine. No problem. Remember his exchange about his hand size with Marco Rubio? He wasn't talking about his hands. Oh, Philippe, you cheeky little one. We've all had to. That kid is obnoxious, juvenile, insufferable, detestable. And then he writes smackworthy? Like, what kind of, Democrat, wonderful people. Most of all, the very definition of predictable, but that kid is hard to beat. The subtext here is, do you know who could beat that kid? Clinton. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much to my super chat. Thank you, Romiko, everyone. Thank you. Inga Hicks, hello. Thank you, everyone. Aria, hello. And definitely subscribe to HA2A. I have a great one for tomorrow on the ethereal battle Trump is winning. You could try to, buy as many fluorescent stones as you want. Ain't gonna work. Because it's all about the orange stone. The Trump stone. It's all about the Trump incense. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you. Child of Yah, thank you so very much. And Anabomb 31458, thank you. J-Holt, thank you. Kilowatt, thank you. I'll see you all soon. Thanks so much, everyone. Subscribe to HA2A. Thank you.